Shabbos Daf Yud Zayin. If a person were to take any vessel, any kli, and hold it over a dead body, that kli becomes tamei as oil. But that kli doesn't have to have a shear; it could be the size of a pin. However, if you want something in the room to become tamei because of oil, in other words, anything under the same ceiling as the dead person is tamei, the ceiling must be at least a tefach wide midoraisa. As one of the 18 halachas that we passing like Bishamai, according to Rabbi Kiva, is the halacha that the ceiling does not need to be a full tefach if you're holding on to the ceiling. In other words, a mardeya, a goad, you prod an animal with. The shear in the time of the Gemara was exactly a third of a tefach wide. The diameter was a third of a tefach. That means the circumference was a full tefach. Since people might confuse the circumference with the diameter, therefore they instituted that if a person is holding on to the mardeya, rather than making him tamei until the evening, because the mardeya was over the dead body is avi avos atuma, the mardeya becomes a avatuma one step less, and the person holding on to it becomes a rishon. A rishon goes to the mikveh that same day. But people might get confused and they'll say, wait, even a full-fledged 7-day tamei only has to go to the mikveh that same day. There is no such thing as 7-day tumah. Therefore, they instituted tumah, whereas it's supposed to be for 1 day, they made it for 7 days. Reb Tarfon says, I'll curse my sons if this halacha is true. It's impossible. This is a mistake. What happened was, there was once a farmer that he was walking with his goat on his shoulder. He was touching it, yes, but he went over and he's mal over a grave. And that in return made him a rishon. But he thought that he's tamei for 7 days. It was a mistake. But there's no reason to institute a takana. Nobody's going to get confused and mistake a circumference with the diameter. So according to Reb Tarfon, that doesn't hold that this is one of the 18 takanas, we have to institute another one. So he's going to hold, like we said the other day, Benois Kusim. Benois Kusim is the 18th one, that all daughters of Kusim, even if they're a day old, have Tumas Nida. There's another halacha that they instituted that day, one of the 18, and that's Haboitzer Legas. If you harvest grapes for wine, and some of the grapes, they ooze out grape juice, that grape juice is enough to be considered Hechsher Tumah. Now the grapes can become Mikabel Tumah because, say Beis Shammai, we're concerned that perhaps he'll harvest them in a waterproof container and he'll try to save that juice. Since he wants that juice, it's as if he had intent to use that juice. The Gemara tells us that that day that Shammai convinced Hillel, who happened to be the Nasi, and they forced him into agreeing to their halacha, it was like the day Klal Yisrael did the Chet HaEgel. They should have listened to Aaron and Chur, but they didn't. Over here, Klal Yisrael should have listened to Hillel. He was the Nasi. Yet they embarrassed him. They put him like a student, and they forced him to agree to their halacha. Another one of the 18 halachas, the Gemara says in the name of Tavi Rishba, Tavi the hunter. He says in the name of Shmuel that if you take truma, that's tamei, you give it to the kohen, and the kohen, instead of burning it, he takes it and he plants it. He won't gain anything because the truma that comes out will have a halacha of tamei truma. Why is that? We're concerned that instead of him burning it, he's going to keep it. Now he would be allowed to midaraisa plant it. We're concerned that he might use it the wrong way, and therefore we said burn it right now and don't wait to plant it. Another one of the 18 halachas that were decided like Bishamai is if a person is walking Erev Shabbos with his wallet and all of a sudden it becomes Shabbos. Midaraisa, he's allowed to walk less than 4 amas in Rosh Hashanah and stop. Walk another less than 4 amas and stop. And do so until he reaches home. But we're concerned that he might take more than 4 amas and it'll be over the Araisa. So what we say is, give it to a guy, let the guy carry for you. Usually you're not allowed to do so, but it's better to give it to the guy than to walk 4 amas in Rosh Hashanah. Another one of the 18 halachas says that the geyser on pas akum, on bread of a guy, on the oil of a guy, the wine of a guy, and the daughter of a guy. In other words, is an isur yichud for gayim. All of these 4 halachas are considered one. According to Rabbi Yossi, we had yesterday, who doesn't hold that one of the halachas is catching rainwater in a kli and creating mayim shuvim, so we say that Benois Kusim is one of the 18. We're still missing one. Benois Kusim we count as one of the 18. If he counts Benois Kusim as one of the 18 and not shuvim, well, how does he get to 18? The Gemara tells us that there's a gzeira on all non-Jewish boys that they have halacha of tamei zav. Although a guy can never become a zav, but they instituted that goyim have halacha of zav because we don't want our children playing with their children chashash of mishkav zachar. Now, according to Meir, he must say that the two halachas of food that becomes tummy through liquid and vessels that become tummy through liquid, those are 2 out of the 9 halachas that we learned of psuli truma. They are considered one, and like this, Meir has a total of 18 halachas. And now we are done with the sugya of tuma, and we're starting a brand new sugya. Says the Mishnah, and we're dealing with shvisas kelim. That is the concept that you're not allowed to have your property do melacha on Shabbos according to Beis Shammai. And therefore, let's say you take your ink and let it soak before Shabbos. That's a melacha on Shabbos that would be asur deraisa, melaches lisha, kneading. And so to soak your different karshin and different vegetables, that would be kneading. According to Beis Shammai, if you want to do so, you have to make sure that the melacha is over before Shabbos begins. According to Beis Hillel, that's not a problem. As long as you put it in 1 minute before Shabbos, that's okay. According to Beis Shammai, you cannot set out a trap before Shabbos unless you have enough time for the animal to be caught. According to Beis Hillel, you can't. You're not allowed to put in wool into an oven before Shabbos. That's a libun. That's also a deraisa, making the wool white, unless you have enough time to finish before Shabbos. And finally, the Mishnah says, you're not allowed to sell something to a guy before Shabbos unless he has enough time to get to his house. You're not allowed to load him up before Shabbos, according to Beis Shammai. According to Beis Hillel, as long as you have enough time for 1 minute before sundown, that's enough. But you don't have to finish the melacha. According to Beis Shammai, you're not allowed to give your clothing to the cleaners before Shabbos unless he has enough time. According to Beis Hillel, you can. Reb Shimon Gamliel says, though Reb Shimon Gamliel was a descendant of Hillel, he's Mechulek on Hillel. He says his father used to give white clothing, which takes a long time to launder, 3 days before Shabbos. Now, one halacha that everybody agrees upon is that a malacha that you're allowed to do on Shabbos, in other words, you're not over isur derais on Shabbos, such as putting a weight on your grapes because the grapes are already crushed, but you want to hasten, you want to make the juice come out quicker, so you put a big stone on them, a kaira, a beam, that you're allowed to do according to Beis Shammai before Shabbos, even if you don't have enough time, because if you do so on Shabbos, you're not over a deraisa. Have a wonderful day.